Why hello there people from the internet, and welcome back to some more Battlefield. Today we're playing some more of the beta and more of the Sinai Desert, and this time I decided to hop into a tank, because why not? Why would you want to die where you can roam in a tank and never die and be a king on the battlefield? Now there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about today, and first thing is, don't destroy that tank if you don't have to. One of your teammates will come in and jump in and repair it, and then you're good to go when you have 3 or 4 tanks in the field, and you can dominate the enemy really quickly. Now, a couple of things I want to talk to you about today, sort of the beta in general, sort of the direction where Battlefield is heading and that sort of stuff, and just a sort of general outline of things that I've sort of noticed from the alpha to the open beta to the things that they've implemented into the game, the feedback that we left and all that stuff. Not really that much has changed since the alpha. I mean, obviously this is another build that they've tested, and they had this at Gamescom and other places like that, so this is kind of what we sort of have to play in the beta. One of the first things is the map. The map design is not the best. Obviously this is not something that I wish to have, and hopefully we'll still get another one, but I don't think we'll get another map. I think this will be it. We'll sort of use and abuse this map for a couple of weeks, and then that'll be that until the beta runs out. But the design of it itself is just nothing really that interesting or special or anything. I mean, sure, you've got the mountains on the F side, on the F flag where all the snipers going to be prone on. You got, say, mountains on A flag where people are going to be on. You got the middle flags, which is the sort of B, D, and C. That's kind of where most of the action is. Then you got the E flag, which is not really something that you'd go to. I don't think I've been to E flag more than twice, and that's only to go and grab the Tank Hunter sort of Sentry Elite class kit, and that was it. But I've never really fought anything to get to the E flag, so I think that's just kind of pointless. And if there's not enough vehicles around, then chances are there won't be that many vehicles around. You'll end up walking 500-600 meters depending on where you are, and it's just going to take you forever to get there. So no thank you, I'll not get there. That guy's blind, never mind, he'll be salty later on. So even though we didn't get a really cool special map with a nice bit of design to it, we're still playing this and we're having a bit of fun, and a lot of people are enjoying the game. Now, for me personally, maybe I'm just an old bastard that's been playing this game for way too long, but for me it's just too casual. It's just too easy. I mean, let's start with Conquest. We've complained about this in the alpha, and we told them that we don't really want this to be happening, and it's still happening in the beta, in the open beta, and I don't think this is going to change, and this is it. This is going to be the final release of the game. Why have you changed Conquest from Conquest? You know, leave Conquest to what it was. It's been fine for, what, best part of 15 years or whatever it's been. All of a sudden, there's no Conquest anymore. There's this thing for 20 minutes long, and just capture the flag and whatever, and just hold the flag, but there's no point me being a medic anymore, because there aren't any tickets, so me reviving somebody has absolutely no strategic value to my team whatsoever. Now, sure, you could say, well, I like playing as a medic because I can revive my squad mates and maybe your own friends, and I like playing as a medic because I can revive my fallen comrades and get me an extra 50 points or whatever you get per revive, or I can just heal myself. But as a whole, it just does not make sense whatsoever that you'd play as a medic against somebody who playing assault, is going to have the better weapons, is going to have the better gear. So why would I play as anything else when I can play as the assault and basically have the better class and the better weapons than anybody else, you know? They haven't really made an effort to let you experience what this game is going to be like when it's going to get released. You know, I really wanted a lot of the things from the alpha. I wanted them changed. I wanted the tanks to feel a bit different. Sure, there's 3 different variations of tanks, but they're still OP as shit if you know what to do with them. And chances are people are not going to work together. You know, that's always the way it's going to be. And now, because there's you don't really have that many gadgets like you had, say, in Battlefield 4, taking down a tank, it comes down to either shooting it down with another tank. I've never really had an issue with planes taking me down or anything like that. Sure, he'd drop a couple of bombs, but I see him coming, I'll just move out of the way, and it won't really sort of annoy me too much, if you want to sort of put it that way. And at the same time, you also have a couple of guys that will have probably the AT weapon, have that unlocked, maybe a couple of grenades, but I can easily deal with that, so I don't really have to worry about that too much either. So I can comfortably say that if I jump into a tank, I'll end up going 30, 40, 50, 0, maybe 1, or maybe I'll die once or maybe twice just because I did something wrong, or I didn't see somebody, or I sort of drove onto a mine or something like that, you know, some bullshit that's going to happen that I've not sort of planned for. But mostly you will end up going around the map unchallenged most of the times, unless you're going to have teamwork and a squad of guys working together, and it doesn't even take that long for you to take down a tank. As long as 2 of you have the AT weapons, go ahead and prone out 100 meters away or something like that. I'll never see you because you blend quite nicely in with the sand. 2 shots each and I will be disabled. Then you have the ground troops sticking as many grenades as they want onto me and I will be down. So taking a tank down shouldn't really be that much of an issue, but it requires that one important thing, which is teamwork. So talking about teamwork, let's talk a little bit about rush mode. Rush mode has been changed from 64-man servers to 24, so that's going to be a 12 versus 12 affair. Now, not only that it's a problem to begin with, because it's 12 versus 12 on a PC in 2016, but the problem is, even at 12 versus 12, if you have 2 squads, say a 5, which you can have these days, what's you going to do with the other 2 guys? You can't really do anything, because you're just going to have 2 dudes roaming around their own. They're never really going to get into a full squad. Now, the next thing that you're worried about is both having tanks. You have 2 tanks on each side, and when you're playing 12 versus 12, you can have whole squads in tanks. There'd be nobody to arm MCOMs. Another addition that's been brought to the rush mode is traditionally in rush you'd have your tickets, you'd have 75, 100, 150 tickets. You'd be really careful with that by not dying, and by the time you've ended up arming and destroying the MCOMs, your tickets will get reset and you'd push up to the next objective. Now this has been somewhat changed in this. Now not only do you still have the tickets, but you also have a timer. So let's say you have a 10-minute timer and you also have the tickets. Now how do I play this? Do I really go all out, balls out, and try to take out the objective within the 10 minutes and lose all my tickets? Or do I stay and be really careful with my tickets, but then I'll lose at timing? So it just doesn't make sense. You need to choose one of the two. You can't have the two because they just conflict in each other. You can't really tell me, well, you need to push really hard, but you only have 75 tickets and you're going to die really fast because you rush in and you're not actually sort of using any strategy. You're just sort of throwing men at it, and that's never really the answer to anything. Or do I just go ahead and sit back and take my time and flank and do all this and wait for my teammates to spawn on me and play rush in the traditional way as it was played in the previous game? So one of the two has to go, and hopefully in the next patch, and we'll see how that's going to play out. So that's it for me for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You'll have to let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next one.